But now scammers are reproducing your video image for nefarious purposes.
Digital identities are worth more than a pound of gold right now because your identity allows you to access virtually every system in the world.
Let's show you a real-life example of a deep fake. This fellow with the glasses, he's not real.
It works like magic. I mean,
we came up with a simple plan, and that plan didn't change much since then, and I don't think it will change much going forward. And it had 4 big steps. That's it. The first one was about building a proof of human system that can be deployed globally. It is fully anonymous. Then second, use that infrastructure to launch a digital token by giving ownership in eventually every human, and use that to get the network to critical scale. Then third, continuously scale and decentralize the network to then eventually, among many other great things that we hope this network will do, use it to make the benefits of AI accessible to everyone. And so we did one. We developed World ID, which we think is that proof of human on internet scale. We launched a token last July, which brought us to step number 2. And so currently we are at 3. Every 2 seconds, someone new is joining the network. We are at 15 million total users, 7 million of which verified with an orb.
The latest orb is built with the NVIDIA Jetson architecture, which has 5 times the AI performance over the previous generation. It's capable of 100 trillion operations per second. So this enables the new orb to execute sophisticated AI models that prove humanness and operate entirely on device, and even faster than before. To provide access to every human, we need more orbs. Lots more orbs, probably on the order of 1,000 times more orbs than we have today. I'm excited to share the flagship locations with you today also. These are premium verification experiences. We have staff there available to answer any questions people have. We've opened our first 2 flagship locations in Buenos Aires and Mexico City just a couple weeks ago. This is our Mexico City location that opened just a few weeks back. I think they really look amazing. Next, we're expanding access to orbs through self-serve verifications. Think of these as orbs inside existing retail locations. So your neighborhood convenience store or local coffee shop like you see behind me. These enable people to both discover the project through seeing an orb in a retail environment or specifically going to that retail store with the intent to verify with an orb. These partnerships are key to scaling the orb locations and getting more distributed in a region. They're providing access to even more people than we do today. And if you don't want to go find an orb, that's okay. So starting today, we're announcing a new feature called Orb on Demand. This will enable anyone with the touch of a button to request an orb come to them. Much like a pizza you would have delivered to your apartment, you can push a button, it shows up at your door, and that driver then leaves the food behind. And I'm incredibly excited to announce a brand new partnership with Rappi, the #1 delivery service in Latin America. They're integrating with our app, and they'll dispatch their existing delivery fleet to bring orbs to anyone who wants to verify whenever they want to. And lastly, I want to talk about a new type of operator we're starting today called community operators. So anyone can rent or buy the new orb to verify anyone in their community. We'll have a website up. You can place your pre-order.
And so today, we will release the next version of World ID, World ID 3.0.
Alex is prone to saying it's a simple plan. We'll just make an anonymous layer for the internet and it'll work. It's not quite that simple. We also throw around the word protocol quite a lot. And within the organization, the reason that we do that is because it's a commitment. It's a commitment to making sure that we're building something that benefits all of humanity. How many of you have a driver's license in your pocket? How many of you borrowed a passport off of one of your friends earlier today? One of the important attributes to understanding whether or not a government credential is real is whether it's the one instance of that government credential. Uniqueness at scale is one of the challenges in being able to use credentials issued by government authorities in any meaningful way on the internet. There are other challenges as well. That driver's license, how many of you have tried to buy beer with your driver's license recently? Did the person that was selling you the beer say, 155 pounds, maybe you don't need this beer? Did they say, oh, I know somebody that lives on your block? Because you've got your address on your driver's license. Currently, the way that we use credentials on the internet is we disclose all of the information that those credentials use in order to answer one simple question. Are you over 18 and should you have access to this content? Or if you're trying to participate in some process provided by your government, are you a citizen of your government? You don't need to answer anything more than that. In fact, there are reasons why anonymity is critical for those kinds of interactions and so important. So uniqueness gives us the ability to determine that the document is real. Anonymity gives you the willingness to actually use the information contained in that document. So today, we're beginning a beta of World ID credentials. And there's two characteristics that I think are critically important here that I want to point out. This is only possible because of the scale and anonymity that AMPC provides. So we think we're unique in the ability to make this possible, but of course it's going into the protocol, so anybody can take advantage of it, anybody can use it, and we would encourage anybody and everybody to do that. The second attribute, because we are so committed to privacy, that passport information is only ever going to be on your phone. We're not copying it up into the cloud, we're not making an instance of it and putting it into the back end. You will hold the information about your passport on your device, and AMPC will be used to do a uniqueness check. An incredible way to provide private access and the ability to interact in an anonymous way while providing the ability to verify certain attributes that are critical to access online services. Truly adding to that experience. We're rolling out in a number of countries. Of course, they won't have used an orb, so we won't really know they're human. We just know that they're a thing that has a passport. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we also check to make sure that the image that's on that passport matches the image of the person that's using their phone. That'll become more important in just a moment. Uniqueness at a global scale, having anonymity at a global scale is critically important. In addition to beginning to think through we're also beginning the process of understanding how it is that this World ID can be incorporated into the digital identity infrastructure that's being built in other countries. I don't know about you, but at least for the last 4 or 5 years, I've spent far too much time in video conferencing. Is that true for anybody else? Maybe a few of you. Is there anybody that's currently video conferencing that's here? I'm a security person. The news that I read is different from everybody else's. That's kind of the way of silos these days. One of the things that I've heard about 4 or 5 times over the last year is an instance of a member of a company working in the finance department receiving an urgent call or an urgent text. It says, get on Zoom. This is your CEO or this is your CFO. We need to have a conversation, okay? Unexpected, but doesn't seem scammy because I'm gonna get on a Zoom with them and I'm gonna interact with them and I'm gonna learn what it is that's being asked for. And that member of the finance department then having an interaction where they're told we need to transfer money, and it's their CEO. They're talking to their CEO. It's their CFO. They're talking to them. It's their voice. It's their face. It's a real interaction. Now, it probably hasn't happened to any of you. If it has, I want to know more details about it. But it's something that we're concerned about. It's certainly something that we're beginning to think about, and it has started to happen in the real world.
Well, we've been warning you that scammers can use artificial intelligence to create fake videos.
Brave new world. So it can also lead to a lot of people getting conned out of money.
This is crazy. It kind of pissed me off.
Stacy Svegliano says she received a video call on the Messenger app from what looked and sounded exactly like her friend Sarah Sandlin. Stacy wasn't able to save the video, but says Sarah looked like she does in this video that we took of her.
It was her talking to me, and it was going in and out, and all I could get was, hey, my Facebook's been hacked.
Then Stacy says she received an access code on her phone and sent it to her. Then this post appeared on her Facebook page, supposedly selling her father's vehicles, appliances, and furniture. Stacy says friends started receiving video messages that looked and sounded just like her, trying to sell the items.
I have a very distinct voice, so when people say they were talking to me, it's scary.
Turns out, Sarah Sandlin had also just received a video message that looked and sounded like someone she knew.
It was her face. She had waved and she was smiling. She even gestured, like moved her hair back out of the way.
She was also duped into sending an access code. Items for sale were posted on her Facebook page, and an AI-generated video of her was sent to friends.
People thought it was me. Some people fell for it. Some people didn't.
Cybersecurity expert Dominic Chirafakis says scammers are grabbing videos posted online to create AI-generated avatars that look and sound so much like the real person, they can fool people who know them well.
You can even use just a picture of the person, and then the lip syncing will take care of the rest. So yeah, you don't need long video segments. Even a still image will do.
To show you how this works, this is a tape that I'm making of myself that I'm going to upload to an AI tool, and then I'm going to type in a script of what I want my avatar of me to say. This is the AI-generated video of me. Can you tell the difference between AI and the real thing? To protect yourself, experts say keep your social media profiles private and limit what you post about yourself. Never give an access code to anyone. Use complicated passwords and multi-factor authentication to secure all of your digital accounts. And I know, Sally, you know a little bit about what this feels like.
This happened to you.
Yes, my own family was fooled. Some of my coworkers here at Fox 26 were fooled when I appeared on 50 Cent's Instagram stories.
Wow.
Or did I? Take a look.
News, 50 Cent is taking over Texas. Fans will be able to meet and take pictures with the rapper at various spec stores all over Texas.
Okay, so it looked like me.
Yeah.
It sounded like me.
World ID is in a unique position for a few reasons. The first is that it's the only system right now that at a global scale is endeavoring to have a trusted interaction where an image of a person is being captured, signed, and then being made available in an anonymous, trustworthy way. That's actually a very, very unique technical attribute of the system. The other thing that we announced earlier this year, originally part of World ID 2.0, currently available, was Face Off, where we use the image that's contained in that personal custody package captured by the orb and made available and held on the user's device to do a comparison to make sure that the person who's interacting with the device is actually the same as the person who originally signed up. That authentication is really critical for being able to decide where they can interact on the internet. And so, as we were looking at this challenge of deep fakes, we began thinking, is this something that we can help solve? And it turns out we can. We can connect those two things together, combined with a challenge being issued by the person who wants to make sure that the person they're interacting with in a given transaction is actually the same face as what it is that they're seeing online, or what it is that's been presented to them in the past. And so we call that World ID Deep Face. We're announcing it today. We're working on a beta of it right now, that's just going to be coming out very shortly. The implementation is, of course, as an SDK. We want to make it possible for anyone to incorporate it directly into their application, make it as seamless as possible, tie into your infrastructure within your enterprise, make it part of your Active Directory or whatever LDAP system it is that you're using to sort of bring it together and make it as seamless as possible. But in addition to that, we want to make it available so people can begin playing with it and understanding how it works right now. So we're announcing a beta, and the beta is an integration with existing applications, right? You and the devices that you're using right now will be able to work with this beta. We'll be able to confirm that the person you're interacting with is the one that you think you're interacting with in an online conversation. And it will work with all of the applications that currently use video. So it's not dedicated to any one of them. Very excited to make that announcement as well.
It became very expensive to operate a network. And that's why we announced Worldchain. Because we have a proof of human, we can do things that other blockchains are not able to do. Worldchain is launching today.
Worldcoin Foundation is super impressed. Tools for Humanity has been doing with everything, with all the work Tools for Humanity has been doing to grow the project. That work means that today, Worldchain is launching with 15 million human users. One of the biggest blockchains in the world on day one. Everything users and developers need, on-ramps, off-ramps, all the mission-critical integrations are all already there.
I'm actually convinced that over the coming years, many of the apps and services that you use will start using the underlying Worldcoin infrastructure in one way or the other. And you won't even notice it, you won't even know about it. And so very much like the internet, there's going to be many different browsers and they will do all kinds of different things. Already today, World App is actually the third largest crypto wallet in the world. Today, we are talking about World App 3.0.
We've been blown away by the response to World App since we launched it last year. And today, we're going to take it to the next level with World App 3.0. It starts with World ID, your internet human identity. You can see whether you're verified, and if you're not, you can use the app to find an orb near you to be able to get verified. Now, of course, beyond orb verifications, World App now also supports the new World ID credentials, which means that you can now add things like your passport or your driver's license to your World ID to be able to prove things about yourself in the internet without compromising your anonymity. And lastly, World App will, of course, later this fall, allow you to prove not only that you're a real and unique person, but that you are who you say you are, powered by World ID Deep Face. Something else we wanted to do with this version of World App was to make it easier to interact with other people on the network. So we're adding a tab where you can look up anyone by their username, or if you want to, connect your phone contacts so it's even easier to find your friends and do things like send them a transfer. Lastly, World App has a wallet built right into it. It allows you to use things like Worldcoin, digital dollars, and other crypto assets, and people love it. In fact, since we launched it last year, people have already performed more than 150 million verifications that count for more than $1.5 billion in volume, not even including people claiming Worldcoin. And today, that's going to get even better, because the new version of the wallet is built on Worldchain and is able to process transactions up to 90% faster than before. That means that you will, for the first time, be able to use World App not only to send money to your friends across the world in an instant without any fees, but also be able to pay at merchants by scanning a QR code, or even in online shops like powered by Shopify, using your Worldcoin and your wallet balance. Now, my personal favorite new feature of the wallet is the Vault. The Vault allows you to lock away some funds for the future and earn a little bit along the way. So that's World App 3.0. It's a super app for humans built on your identity, finance, and community. It's going to be available today, and we can't wait for all of you to try it.